Hello and welcome to another Star Citizen Org Spotlight, looking at organisations that might be the right fit for you, as Org play is going to be really important and affect your gameplay experience over potentially years of gameplay. These are friends that you might even play games with forever. So today, with that in mind, we're looking at IDF, the Intergalactic Defence Force. They're a smaller, growing org focused on lawful mercenary activities like trade, security, escorting, and group missions, but will dabble in a bit of everything in-game. They are expanding to cover all time zones and are very malleable and democratic when it comes to how the org operates. And I thought it would be a good choice for players that want to stay and grow with an org and see how it changes and even affect change within that org. Links below to their Discord and org recruitment page. Let's jump into my interview with IDF's org leader. Who are you and what is your role in the org?
Hey, I'm Deletum. I'm one of the founding members. I guess you could call me officially the guild master, but only spokesperson in a sense. We're really run by a council, so I'm just one of the leading council members.
Can you give me a brief rundown of the org and also how the council works as well?
Okay, so yeah, we're a law-abiding org. We're a bunch of mercenaries just trying to make some money. As far as the council goes, pretty much everything's led by the group. If you said like something came up to a vote, in fact, like I wouldn't even actually vote in the case unless there was a tie. So the point being, there's no singular person with all the power or responsibility, as it were. We've just found in the past, we've run large guilds in other games, and we found in the past that having the gaming and responsibility world mesh too much, you just run into problems, or either real happening bias or perceived bias because someone's not being fair. So we try to kind of run it more like our company is run, for example, right? You have managers, you have supervisors. So it's not really one person you're dealing with all this power.
So what kind of players are you looking for? What's a right fit for a player for your org?
I mean, really, we're looking for all kinds of players, and I'm sure that's something everybody says. But, you know, if we're going out there and we're taking down pirates, that means we're going to have stuff. We're going to have loot. We're going to have things to trade. We already have land plots, so we know we're going to need bases and people that want to run those kinds of things. Recently, we've started taking on a lot of players from around the world, so we're going to be looking for, you know, leadership organization to stand up for different time zones, people that are going to take on those responsibilities and things of that nature. So really, it's just kind of an exciting time as, you know, we've got maybe up to 2 years at this point before the game launches. And so now is like a great time to build these friendships and these connections and learn to work together for kind of all things, to tell you the truth. Really what we want to stay away from are the people that want to grief or troll others. We're a group of adults. We don't have time for that kind of behavior. And frankly, I don't want to be a part of it. So I don't think a lot of us want to be a part of that kind of behavior. So that's really one of the few things that's kind of like that's going to be off limits to us.
As you said there, your org is very lawful and law-abiding, but what does that mean in terms of gameplay for you, not just for 3.0 now, but also, I suppose, the rest of this year, what you're expecting, and how do you expect your gameplay to evolve?
It's more going to be, if you've got a haul of cargo, we're not going to be a group that's saying, let me inspect what you got before we fly, but you best not fly us right into UE protected space and protect us then to engage with military presence. That's just not going to happen, right? So really more of it is we're contractors and we're going to stay within the law of the areas we're in, because I know there's going to be different areas and laws are going to be different depending on the area you're operating in. So that will be taken into account. It's just you can't hire us to be your pirate muscle. That'd really be where we draw the line.
Okay, so what's your gameplay like now in terms of 3.0? What are you guys doing in game now?
3.0, a lot of our members are having performance issues, to be brutally honest. We've gotten together for some Arena Commander and some Star Marine Knights and just having fun. We're pretty active in our Discord server and just kind of goofing off with the game, as it were, right now, until it gets a little more stable and we can kind of all work together to try these bigger things. Right now, we're just kind of doing small things as opportunities arise.
So you said you had Discord and all that sort of jazz. So how active is that Discord? If I joined in at any time of the day, would there be someone there to play with? Do you have planned events and training and other gaming sessions as well?
I wouldn't say there's someone to game with anytime you go in. Probably somebody to chat with. A lot of us are playing other games too while this isn't as stable for our systems. So I see people playing games together, even other games than Star Citizen. So that's definitely a possibility. But we are trying to do more actual scheduled events, races, and things like that. But like I said, one of the issues we've been running into is lot of stability issues for players trying to get together. So it's been rough in the moment, but we are trying.
So how much of your gameplay do you expect for your orc members to be PvP versus PvE related?
Realistically, and just from the research that I've done in the game, where they've said, you know, in their post that it should be roughly a 9-to-1 NPC to player interaction once the game launches, I wouldn't expect there to be like, we're going to be fighting all the time. I think it's going to be a pretty even mix. I feel like if we start seeing these really valuable trade routes start getting hit by pirates, groups like us are going to be called more and more into the PvP. But that doesn't mean every single member is going to be forced into that or anything crazy like that. There's no like call to arms.
Do you expect you to be going after particular players for bounties in PvP orientated way, or will it more be so you're escorting and defending things and you might just get pulled into PvP?
I think it'd be more like we have contracts, and in those instances we'd be more escorting, and if we got pulled into it, we got pulled into it. But I mean, I know one of my intentions, if I have no contract to escort someone, I know I'm going to be going after bounties. And I expect a lot of the contractors to be doing the same. So I think we will find it that way. But again, it wouldn't be forced upon somebody.
And how roleplay or lore orientated is IDF?
We're roleplay welcome. I mean, I don't speak in character or anything like that personally. But if someone wants to do that, we would have a room for that. That'd be fine. As far as in game, again, it'd be more kind of situational, really, because I think that one, I'd have to see how it really plays out. Are you going to have, you know, different legal systems for different areas that you're operating in? Because then you can't realistically make one hard stop rule, right? You've got to look at the whole thing as a picture, as the whole picture that it is, and then say what makes sense for us to do. So, like I said kind of earlier, we would operate within the laws of the area we are operating in.
With in regards to the backgrounds and like fluff and lore with your org, do you have quite an in-depth one? Is it something you're building, or is it more of a you are focusing more on gameplay rather than the background?
We have a very loose. It's something we would build for sure. Like if we pulled someone on that was more into writing those kinds of things, I'd be absolutely interested. I'm a sysadmin by trade, so a lot of us are technical people. So we've put something down because we have a lore and a little background to us, and like I said, we're just kind of more these ex-mercs trying to make a living in this verse, but we haven't fleshed it out as much as we'd want to. And I kind of look at this time in alpha and as we get to beta and before launch as the time that we form who we're gonna be.
So what size is the org currently? Do you have a maximum size in mind? Do you want to keep it smaller, medium sized? What's the sort of goal for that?
We're at around 60 members right now. I wouldn't say we really have a max size. You know, the thing is, the larger you get, you just need to bring structural organization into. Some of us are, you know, project managers for companies and things like that. So that's what we kind of do for a living. So I'm not afraid of it expanding. We can handle that. And we have a lot of big ships that could use the crew too. But at the same time, if we end up, you know, 100, 150 members, even at the 60, 70 we end up with now, and we're just a tight-knit crew, I'd be totally cool with that too.
Can you give me a quick rundown then of your recruiting process and expectations of your new members and members ongoing, I suppose, as well?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, I hope it's one of those things that you wish didn't need to be said, but like stupid racist kind of stuff, ain't that really childish, just trying to troll each other just to get a reaction. It's just a prank bro kind of behavior. So I'm not going to say like we have a hard stop, you must be this years of age to join, but just behave like a normal human being in interactions and it won't be an issue. Right. We don't have like mandatory taxes or anything crazy like that. We're pretty open to membership for what people want to do in the verse, and we want to find jobs for them that make sense for that kind of stuff. And again, really, the behaviors you want to stay away from are just the childish nagging at each other and attacking people for no reason, either verbally or actually in game, like that kind of stuff.
And what about the actual recruiting process? What can I, how do I join? And then what process do I need to go for before I'm a full member? Can I be an affiliate? Tell me.
Oh, got you. So pretty much you just go to the RSI site and there's a very short application, just, what's your name, how old are you? And again, that's just to get to know you really are these questions. It's nothing that's going to be hard stop, like get out of here, unless you like just trolled me in the app. And of course, then you go from a recruit. And then we'd say like 4 weeks are essentially just running operations for a certain amount of time where you're just kind of hanging out with us. Then you'd kind of be moved from a recruit status to enlisted because you stuck around and you showed you actually wanted to be around. Affiliates are totally fine. The only time that you would need to have full membership or would be if you wanted to be considered for an officer role, because then we feel like this should be your focus.
And how do officers actually work in your org then? Are they there for just the structural kind of organisation, or are they there to literally organise things for the members to do from day to day, or what?
Yeah, they're going to be setting up events for people in the time zone that they're responsible for. If there's a dispute between members, there's supposed to be a level-headed person that goes in, takes in the situation, and says this is what's going on. They'd be expected to. We have an area for officers to write reports, so we can keep track of those kinds of things in case something happens repeatedly. Things like that, just kind of to be the overwatch of it. Really how it works is we've got enlisted, we've got NCOs, non-commissioned officers, then you got the officers, and then you got the joint chiefs. The ranking is going to be expanded on our website that's in construction right now, beyond what's provided with the RSI site. We're not going to really push too much work to that until after this month, where we see what the new site gives us, because we don't want to waste work. But so much like a normal military structure, your NCOs are there pretty much for the day-to-day. Your officers are there to be in charge, be that authority figure that makes sure everything stays level. But we would want them setting things up for people, making sure people have stuff to do, just interacting with the crew, letting us know what's going on.
And is your org new player friendly? Is there training and that sort of stuff for the newest of the new players? They just jumped into the game and went, I want an org to join?
Yeah, we're trying to be, absolutely. We've got a couple members that like in their free time like to do just write-ups, essentially these documents, PDFs on training manuals for how ships should be used, things of that nature. So we are there to answer the questions we know the answers to, absolutely. So we are trying to be as friendly. Well, let me rephrase that. No, we're not trying to be friendly. We're new player friendly, and we'll answer any of the questions that we know the answers to, of course. I don't think any of us considers ourselves like the absolute top of the line. Like, we're here learning as the game's going to be molding and changing all at the same time. So we'll definitely take someone under our wing and show them what we know. And we're doing training and we're organizing operations with other orgs in order to do kind of larger scale operations, which again have been delayed by stability issues. But once the availability is there from a stability standpoint, like operationally, we are going to have those trainings and those opportunities to learn how to operate in kind of a larger scale combat and how to operate within the group, and also just to have fun and go blast some stuff.
You've talked about some of the sort of gameplay that you plan to do with like escorting and that sort of stuff. Obviously, teamwork's very important to your org with what they do. Will that be fully mobilised manpower as well? Will you literally mobilise the entire org to do certain things, or will it be more compartmentalised?
It would be compartmentalized. We would have divisions that are included in things. So, we have members right now that just have said they want to be long haul truckers and are not really, they don't want to be on the combat side. Their membership is basically to have us there in case they need us. And that's totally cool. I'm not going to tell the trucker that that's the way they enjoy the game. I'm not going to be like, load up in this turret because I said so. Nah, dude, that's not the way you enjoy the game. Cool. Like, if you're a gunner, if you're a Marine, and I've got that marked in our database that we have, then we know who we can call upon in times we need them, because they've signed up to be called upon for that kind of a thing. So in that case, we would have large-scale mobilization, but only if you signed up for that.
is there anything else you'd like to tell people about the org, or elaborate on anything else at all?
I mean, our primary focus is just a group of adults that don't really want to grow up and just keep having fun playing video games. So we want to stay away from the drama, have a good time, be effective in the verse, and make some money while we're doing it.
So lawful, mature players.
Making coin is at our mind for sure. We've got more ships than we got crew by a long shot. I mean, we got the Hammerhead we're donating to the channel, but I mean, I know myself, I've got a Hammerhead, I've got an 890, Gemini, what else I got? The Carrack, we got one dude with a Polaris, we got a Pioneer, got the, what is that? Endeavor Hope class?
The hospital ship.
Yeah.
So there's lots of crew needed to crew these larger ships as well for the org.
Oh yeah, and kind of varying positions, engineering, medics. We need the whole spiel, the whole 9 yards. What do we call that? Need everybody.
I think that's a lot of people want to join an org. I think of the smaller or medium-sized variety, so they actually get focused on and actually learn and meet everyone in the org. So the ability to be able to pilot those ships with other people, to learn your trade while you're on like a Hope or whatever, and be able to go, great, this with a smaller org that's got a Carrack, that I can pilot the Carrack, or I can be a member of this Carrack for like 3 or 4 months until I'm bored and then want to go on to another ship. I think that's a really important thing of like looking for the right org for you, being able to do that. And some people want those giant encounters with like Test or whatever, but
yeah, hoping to avoid them and their auroras blotting out the sun.
Well, indeed, but some people want that more experience where they can actually affect change within their org. They can meet everyone in their org, and I think that's very important gameplay.
I mean, to be quite real with you, we're looking for the leadership that's gonna be who we are. You know, we're skeleton crewed as it is. You know, there's probably the core 10 of us in the leadership structure now. That's nowhere near what we're trying to be if we're going to cover all time zones. So we're not just looking for lackeys or people to come be cannon fodder. We're trying to find friends and future leaders and the people that want to do certain things and like wish they could have a post in an org and a responsibility and something to call their own that they care about. Come on over. We got the position for you.
So your org's very malleable and in flux at the moment, where people can influence it and help grow it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think we've got so much time before the game launches that we're not going to be who we are then now. Or, you know, who we are now, we're not going to be then as a group or even individually. So, like, we are looking for those people that are going to step up and join us to be the leaders. It's not just going to be like, well, here's me and 9 of my friends that I know from college. Whoop, whoop. It's like, no, I got to find the people that really want to do this, and they're the right people for the job.
How will you deal with a player that has done something unlawful or becomes an outlaw in your org?
I mean, if they're an outlaw, they can't accept contracts. It's pretty much going to be how it works. Depending on the attitude, it wouldn't be just like, we're going to kick you out type of a thing, because I have no idea what happened in that situation where they got this outlaw flag, right? But clearly I can't then present them as a professional in a contracting situation. I can't say, here's a criminal that's going to come guard your stuff.
So not necessarily kicked out of the org, but they need to clear their name before they take any more contracts.
Yeah. And I mean, like, again, it would kind of depend on what the heck they're doing over there. If it's just, you know, they were running some cargo they didn't realize was illegal in a sector or something like that, or they got into a fight with a guy because he was a total D-bag and he killed him a bunch. Okay, I get it. I get getting my vengeance sometimes, but go clean that up before I can put you in front of a client.
If you have an org that you're interested in appearing in an org spotlight, or you have a suggestion for someone else for the segment, then please drop me a message in my Discord thread. The idea is to get a cross-section of various types of orgs in the short term this year, and then probably some of the more famous ones later, and then just random ones after that, I suppose. Every month we have a giveaway. For January, it's for a Hammerhead gunboat donated coincidentally by our featured org IDF, the Intergalactic Defence Force, who we just had that spotlight about. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and then comment on any of my Star Citizen content during the month. Do you have any questions about IDF, about org spotlight, about orgs in game, about gameplay, or Star Citizen or Squadron 42's development? Chuck them in the comments below. A special thank you to my Patreons who allow me to create the amount of content I do. If you're interested in becoming one of them, you can find the links to Patreon down below, as well as everything else we've talked about. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help me, and I'll see you in the verse.